The flight deck, and ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be shiny because it is shiny, and I'll dull it down once I get done. But I want to show this first because I'll be blocking it. I painted the whole thing a dark gray, and I'm going to go back in with Mr. Airbrush, and we're going to dirty it up, do some streaks and everything, because flight deck needs to have skid marks and streaks and all that good stuff. Painted the catapult silver color, or metallic gray. Added pinstripe tape for the catapult itself. I think it's called barrier tape, and it's supposed to be red and white. I haven't quite decided if I want to go that far and cut that out and or paint the little white squares. May leave it, may not. We'll just see what I do this week. And safety tape, I printed some out, and I could have done the same thing, but I needed a smaller diameter. But I made some markings, and if you can see way back here for the blast shield, did the same thing on the edges and all that. So when you get Mr. Airplane on here, if I can do it, holding it right, so it'll look cool with some markings on there, like so. And speaking of Mr. Airplane, I need to do the Tulsa first, but hold on. We'll do the Tulsa first. Need to do that first, because that is what I need to concentrate on. I had to, oh, excuse me, I had to turn the lights on. Last I left off on the Tulsa, I went in and painted the a neutral gray on top, which is I would say a shade darker than the base coat, so that the plating, and I don't know if you can see it, maybe, I don't know, maybe different light, you might be able to see it. You see a different hole plating on there, maybe when the light hits it just right like that. And all I did was take a index card and just made a little template, cut it out freehanded, and just airbrushed different sections. I got to do one more deal. I forgot to do the very top, which I'll try to fix that later today. But I did manage to get the hole, and it's just random patterning. You can probably see how random it is. Got that, and then I went ahead and did the decals, and the flight deck decal is basically one long decal, and I had to whack it up just to make it manageable and where you can place it down. I think it should be a tad bit smaller. It really wants to hit the edges here. It needs to go inside. I didn't know that. That's just my opinion, but it's one of those, it is what it is. But I got everything down, got everything glossed, and I use the, I'm going to do one hand here. I use the Vallejo 3 bottle system, and you put your gloss down, put your decal fix, and then the softener on top, and it makes it look like it's on the painted on look and everything. I got all the decals on except for the hole number, and I have to stop because right now it's just soaking wet and decals, and if I cannot put any more on, I don't want to screw it up, and don't want to, you know, accidentally get one on your hand, you know, that's on there. But anyway, got the tape off. I got to do a little touch up where I overspread a little gray. No big deal. I'm going to get that fixed. Once I get the decals on, I'm going to go back in and dull everything down with a matte coat, and then and some places will be like not a semi-gloss, you know, kind of will, kind of won't, but anyway, it'll be a little glossy, but not, you know, totally flat. But anyway, there's that on the Tulsa. The F-18s, last I left off on that, I think I showed pre-shading. Hopefully I did. Again, no right or wrong way to do it. This time I painted the base color, which is, where are you? Light Compass Ghost Gray. Did that top and bottom, but you're not going to see a whole lot on the bottom, so I didn't really, you know, went to town on the bottom. Painted the wheels, painted landing gears, put a basic wash on them. You might be able to see some of that. The top is really what you're going to see, and you can see the different shading in it, especially with the lights hit it different certain way. You can see dark and light. That's what we want. So I want to start. I got to finish painting the engines on both those, but I can also start doing a couple decals. And for decals, I like to be a little bit of fantasy in it. So on the decal here, the VFA-99, that's known as the Brad Hare, or if you can look on the tail here, the Sky Striker squadron. And if you don't know what that symbol's from, that's from the 80s Sky Striker G.I. Joe plane that I actually I had found the artwork and scaled it down to 1/48 scale, and I thought it turned out good. You know, a lot of people don't know that that's an actual squadron in the G.I. Joe universe. So anyway, I like a little bit of fantasy in markings. It's one of those where you look at it, you're like, is that real? Is it? It can't be, but is it? You know, that's what I like. Just a touch of fantasy in military models. So do the VF-99. I always try to do the 99 in almost everything I do, because that's actually homage to Captain Harlock, Star Blazers, and a couple others. But anyway, it's kind of one of, you always have a number you go to. So there is that, and these are vinyl decals, or vinyl stickers, and what I do is I put them on, and then I put a couple coats of Future on it, blends it in with the whole real good, and just good to go on that. But anyway, that's where I am on the F-18s. So we're doing a little, got them shaded. And I'm at the point where I got to put the decals on, because then I always like to go back over and shade the decals down, because I don't like them just totally bright. To me, they shouldn't be, and they should be weathered with the rest of the plane. And that's where I am on the F-18s. Anyway, that's what I got going on today. I'm going to try to finish up the Tulsa. I'm going to try to finish it up next day or two, get that finished, and get that sitting and drying is what we want to do. And the F-18s, they are taking shape. Base is taking shape. Hopefully get a little more done on that. And then I'm probably going to do the Enterprise just to keep it knowable. I always like to name my tiles anyways. I think it's this gives it a little bit of character. But anyway, that's what I got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.